Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope you're doing all right today. It's album review time. We've got Ronnie Atkins and Make It Count. This is coming out on Frontiers on the 18th of March. Ronnie's obviously an amazing artist, songwriter, been in the band Pretty Maids since the 80s. Just a brilliant band, a huge part of me growing up. Pretty Maids were, from Red Hot and Heavy all the way through. Just an amazing band. Ronnie's an amazing singer. I absolutely love him. So this is coming out on Frontiers, like I said. It's the second solo album, and it's near enough a year to the day when this is released that it's going to be coming out from the last one, One Shot. So that's he's obviously been going through illness, and he's been creating as much music as he can. So, you know, for us, it's fantastic, obviously, to hear as much as we can from Ronnie. The circumstances, why we're hearing it, not so much. But, you know, he's always he always delivers quality music, quality vocals. So, you know, I love this album. This is absolutely fantastic. It's got 12 tracks, 54 minutes and 8 seconds long. So apparently I was reading about this, and Ronnie is saying he had a few ideas left from the One Shot album. So he sort of got hold of those ideas and created some more songs. If you was wondering or worrying if this album feels like a leftover, you know, from the tracks that we got on One Shot, that is totally wrong. This is just as strong as One Shot. If it's better, I don't really know at the moment. You know, I haven't spent a lot of time on it. I've only heard it twice. So whether it's better or not than One Shot, I don't know. But let me tell you, it just matches it. If not, it could be better. It's an absolutely fantastic album. This is high quality melodic hard rock. I was actually reading about this, like I said, and it was in the synopsis that Frontiers sent me. And he said Ronnie said when he songwrites, it's always melody first. That's the priority. And man, you just know it is. Every song on here, it just sounds huge. It's just, there's so many hooks and choruses and great, you know, catchy stuff all the way through this album. It's just a fantastic sounding album from start to finish. There's nothing really weak you could say on this album. I've got some favourites I'm going to talk about, but there's no weak tracks whatsoever. Like I said, it's just as strong, maybe even stronger than One Shot. Only time will tell with me though. So Ronnie Atkins is on the vocals, obviously. Just, man, I just love the way he sounds. One thing I love about good singers, one of my favourite things about singers is character in vocals, you know, being able to tell who it is. We've got thousands of singers that sound exactly the same, and if they sang, I wouldn't know who, you know, who's apart from the next. It's quite difficult to tell with some. They've got the same sort of tone. With Ronnie Atkins, you can tell it's him immediately, you know, and you can say that sort of thing about Klaus Main, you know, Brian Johnson, say. I know it's different, you know, types of music, but those singers, as soon as they open their mouth and sing, you know who the singers are. And that's what I love about Ronnie. You know it is. And one other thing I love about Ronnie is there's the two different sides, if you like, to his voice. When he sings in that smoother sort of vocal, he sounds different than what he does when he gets a little bit more aggressive, you know, when he opens up a bit more. And he's been like that since the beginning, you know, from Red Hot and Heavy. I think I've said before, I even thought it was two vocalists on the first Pretty Maids album, or first couple, until I knew it was Ronnie on his own. Now, there's lots of other vocalists that do that in rock, you know. He's not the same as Ronnie Atkins, obviously, but Axl Rose would be a good example. Used different sides to his voice. But Ronnie is just something special. I absolutely love him. The dog's here, by the way. He loves him as well. So, is this a great album? Yes, it is. Let me run you through the people in the band, apart from Ronnie on vocals. You've got Chris Laney, who's put an awful lot of effort into both of these solo albums. He's obviously Ronnie's bandmate in Pretty Maids. He's a rhythm guitarist and keyboardist, and he produces this album as well. This album sounds fantastic. It almost like goes hand in hand with One Shot, the way it sounds. The songwriting, the songs themselves are just brilliant, just like they were in One Shot. So You've got Alla Sorensen on the drums, Pontus Egberg on the bass, Morten Sandeger on the keys, and Linnea Vikstrom is doing some backing vocals. There's also 4 other guitarists that do some lead guitar. So loads of musicians on this album, loads of friends helping Ronnie out, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. All the guitaring, there's some amazing solos throughout this album. And I just want to give a big shout out, I don't usually do this, to the keyboardist, Morten Sandeger. Brilliant keys throughout this album. Almost sometimes sort of some pop sensibilities going through this, but in a good way, by the way. I'm not a pop music fan, but I mean, some of it's so catchy. Pop means popular, so that's what I'm talking about. So you guys, if you loved Ronnie Atkins One Shot, you're going to love this. So let's go through the tracks. So my favourite tracks. I've Hurt Myself by Hurting You. This is the opening track. Immediately the smile hits my face when I was listening to this. It really did. The effortless melodies, extreme catchiness, the uplifting feel of the song, it's all there just like it was in One Shot. Lush backing vocals throughout this album. On this song, just straight away you hear it. Gives such a fullness to the to this song, such a brilliant start to a great album, and what an excellent solo as well. The solo is just amazing. Next up is the single Unsung Heroes. This track sounds huge. It's so good. It's sort of, it's weird. I was thinking as I was listening to this track, I love it. It makes me smile, but it makes me sad at the same time. Just when you hear how big this song sounds, what's happened to like melodic rock music, you know, I know it's sort of come back as such, but it'll never come back like it did, you know, as popular, if you like. And Ronnie and songs like this just deserve to be like, you know, everyone should be listening to this stuff, but you know, people's taste in music just ain't the same. But you know, that's just the way it is. A standout classic track though, Unsung Heroes. I absolutely love it. The next one I want to talk about is Rising Tide. The other single, another great track. Synths are sort of quite a big part of this one. This track, but it's quite heavy at the same time. It's quite a heavy song at the same time. Great chuggy guitar parts in and out. Serious stuff lyrically, obviously, as climate change is tackled in this song. Heavy, melodic, as always. Absolutely superb. Remain to Remind Me is the next track. This is sort of a semi-ballad, if you like. This amazing song. The amazing thing about this album is that every track could literally be a single. You know, when you're listening to it, they're so catchy. This one in particular is so catchy. It's really accessible. In other words, like anyone should be able to listen to this song and say, I like the sound of that. It's just amazing songwriting. The next song I want to talk about is The Tracks We Leave Behind. I love this one. There's a sort of heavy AOR feel to this one. Sort of for some reason reminds me of Love Games off of the Future World album, Pretty Maids. But, you know, I might be mad thinking that. It might just be Ronnie's, just, you know, his voice just making me think. But the thing is, the vocal melodies, I think running along that bass is what just reminds me of it. It's absolutely brilliant. Another huge sing-along chorus. The next track I want to talk about is Grace. Ronnie sounds amazing here. He does all the way through, but he really does on this one. At the start, he sings over an acoustic guitar and bass. The 80s feels are just really prevalent in that chorus. I love the way the guitar joins in on that sort of second verse, sort of running alongside the song. Such a huge, huge song. A standout track for sure. Let Love Lead the Way is the next one I want to talk about. Ronnie sort of tugs at the heartstrings in this ballad. On this one, he's singing over some piano and acoustic guitar. Very cool use of synths in the chorus, touching on that sort of poppy side a little bit. Track builds and builds with the full band coming in. Psychedelic feels to this one. An absolutely great track. The next track I want to talk about is Blood Cries Out. An excellent modern metal riff kicks this one off, and I get sort of Future World feel in the verses. You know, the part in the distance, Far away sort of reminds me of that. In fact, the intensity of the whole song gives you those vibes of Future World. An excellent chuggy chorus just tops off a brilliant metal track. This one is actually my favourite one on the album so far. The next track I want to talk about is Easier to Leave Than Being Left Behind. Ronnie's so good at those hard-edged AOR tracks, and this one is perfect. The song is just beautiful. It glides along with great synth touches, backing up that guitar. Another huge chorus, another great song. The next one I want to talk about is Fallen. This is a great rock song that probably has those pop sensibilities running through it more than a lot of the tracks on this album. The rhythm guitar work is awesome, with Ronnie's excellent melodic tone over it. Another brilliant track. And the last track I want to talk about is Make It Count. The title track and the last single he brought out. This is brilliant. On first listen, I thought it was a piano ballad and it was going to be like that all the way through. Ronnie's unmistakable voice is just perfect. At the 2.5 minute mark, the song changes up, it picks up, and the band join in. It's an unbelievably beautiful, well-constructed song that's just full of emotion from beginning to end. Excellent end to an excellent album. So guys, this is a fantastic album, easily recommended. I knew it was going to be great. The singles are great and the album lives up to all that. This is coming out 18th of March on Frontiers, of course. Ronnie Atkins, Make It Count. Just an amazing melodic hard rock album. You're going to love this, guys. Totally recommended. I'll see you next time.